My name is Melissa. I am a Massachusetts girl, live in Connecticut now. I'm married. I have 4 children. I call them my bigs and my littles. My oldest is 27, and then I have a 20-year-old who gave me a beautiful grandbaby 8 months ago, my granddaughter. And then my husband and I have 2 daughters, ages 11 and 10. The first time I was pregnant, I was 19 years old. I had been dating a young guy from high school. We'd been together for a couple of years. It wasn't the best situation. He had a pretty serious drinking and drug problem. You know, I was young and naive and pretty codependent even. So within about a year of starting to date him, I started using drugs too. And so about a year into that lifestyle, I found out I was pregnant. I was definitely probably the longest 5 minutes of my life waiting for the little sticks to turn colors. But when they did, I just knew right away, you know, I'm a mom. I'm not gonna say it was easy. It wasn't. I was really scared. I was scared that maybe something was gonna be wrong with my baby because of the drugs that I had been doing. But praise God, although I didn't realize it at the time that that's what it was, he's okay. And like I said, now he's 27 years old and down in Tampa getting his master's degree. I was with his dad for about another 3 years. And finally, it got to the point where I knew I had to leave. So I made the decision to leave, and unfortunately found myself right away in the arms of another man. And very quickly thereafter, I found myself pregnant again. And that's where things took a turn. The father of the baby, he was incredible, actually. He was a really good man. Did and said everything right. Told me how much he loved me, that he wanted to marry me. I was living on the Cape. It's a small place to be. Kind of everybody knows everybody. My previous relationship was well known and not looked at very favorably. So his family was less than happy that we were going to be having a baby. But nevertheless, I always say I don't really remember when I realized what abortion is. Still to this day, I don't know. I just know that I always knew in my mind and in my heart that it wasn't right. So as scared as I was, I tried to just dive in again. I figured, okay, well, at least this time I'm with a stable person, although the relationship had only been for a few months. I moved him in to my apartment, and at first things were okay, and then slowly but surely, the arguments kind of started happening. I think I can recognize that I sensed this pressure that I felt like I was putting on him. So we were planning on having this baby. I felt like I was ruining him and his life. I was crying and just saying that I needed to leave him. I couldn't stay with him. Honestly, I felt like I was still in love with my ex. We were supposed to be married even. Everything was just happening so fast. And so I thought, well, my son's doing okay. I can do this. I'll just be a single mom of 2 kids. I had gone to a birthday party at a friend's house, and both she and her sister had had abortions in high school. And so I was crying and just saying that I needed to leave him. I don't even know how it turned, but the conversation turned, and something along the lines of, you do know you have another choice, right? I think in that moment, I just believed. I believed the lies. I believed that it could be quick. I believed it would be easy. I believed I could just walk away. So I went home and I called Planned Parenthood and I made the appointment, and then I sat and I waited for my boyfriend to come home. And he walked in the door. I basically just looked him in the face and said, I'm having an abortion and there's nothing you can do about it and you need to leave. And I don't remember what he said exactly, but I just remember this look of just sheer terror on his face. Because he knew there was nothing he could do. And he left, and I don't know, I think it was the next day or the day after. I remember sitting in the waiting room. I don't remember an ultrasound. I don't remember being given any options. I don't remember anyone even asking me if I wanted to do this, if I had thought this through. The next thing I remember was being slightly sedated. And then I just remember, the pain. And I remember the sound. This is awful vacuum sound that honestly, I don't think my mind could even comprehend what was happening. And then I remember being in a recovery room that really was like a corral. There were sheets. That was there was nothing on the end. There were just sheets separating me and however many other women were there that day. And I just remember people crying, and it was just dark and awful. And awful, and in that moment just feeling like, what did I do? I must have asked my mom to take him home, because I remember being there. I remember laying on her couch and just bleeding so badly, and I remember just being in so much pain, mentally and emotionally and physically, and then I remember thinking, like, you have to forget. You have to forget. You have to just move on and forget. That's the only way. And then I just shut down. And the following, months were just torture. It would be years that I lived with the shame and the pain and the regret. I had nightmares. I had visions during the day, visions at night. The sound, I could not get the sound out of my head, no matter how hard I tried. I just thought, one day this will just go away. One day I won't feel this way anymore. One day it will be lifted from me. It has to. And unfortunately, it was not that simple. It was not that simple. That's when I found Jesus. It's when I realized that he had helped me all along. And so the first couple years of following him were just incredible. My whole life changed. It really did. The 2 Corinthians verse that talks about you're a new creation and the old is gone and the new has come. I was just embracing it with my whole being. And then a pregnancy center actually was coming to my city. And one of my best friends called me up to tell me, oh my gosh, Melissa, like you need to call them. You need to get involved. So I called and had an incredible conversation with the director of the pregnancy center, and basically was saying, you want me. You definitely want me there, greeting everyone at the door. Once I was done explaining myself to her, she asked me, had I ever gone through any type of a healing program? And honestly, initially I was a little offended. I wanted to say, did you not hear the last 30 minutes of our conversation? So she told me that they had a program, called Save One, that they were kind of just starting out. They had just done one round of this with a few women who were post-abortive like me. And she encouraged me to really think about it and see if I would do it. And so fast forward a few months goes by, and she called me, as she said that she would, to let me know that it was starting and to ask me if I wanted to take part. And I said yes. And for the next few months, I walked through a intensive, intentional process. And probably the most miraculous and amazing part of that was that I went from being a woman who had had an abortion and felt like I was good, I was okay, I had overcome this abortion that I had, to a mother who lost her child. There were so many things tied to my abortion that I never realized until I walked through this. And I didn't know that you could have literal PTSD, that you could have these memories and these flashbacks and recurrences over and over and over again, and I definitely didn't know that I could heal and be whole, and I certainly didn't think I could sit here and share with you, that's for sure. But here I am. I wasn't quite sure what was gonna happen in my life. I had these 2 kids with these 2 different dads, and I had no college degree. I had no money in the bank. I was, I feel like that's what I hope that people can take from my story, is that I've been there. I've been the 19-year-old that was addicted to drugs, that was in an abusive relationship, that had really no future to look forward to. And yet I have an amazing son. And then I had an abortion. And I suffered incredibly, tremendous loss and pain and regret. And you can't change that. You know, you can, circumstances change, but a decision like that is forever. It's forever. I hope that my story changes hearts and changes minds, and that people can see that it's not as simple as making a choice and moving on.